Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. 2025 NFL Draft Rumors, Pro Day Holdouts, Jackson, Taylor. We're in the thick of Pro Day season and, while some of the 2025 NFL Draft's top quarterbacks are showing out after not throwing at the NFL Scouting Combine, some of the draft's top pass rushers have chosen to sit out of their pro days. Two of the class's top pass rushing prospects, Penn State's Abdul Carter and Texas A&M's Shamar Stewart, have made the decision not to work out at their respective pro day events. Carter's announcement, per ESPN's Adam Schefter, was relayed by his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, who said that his client was still finishing up rehab on the shoulder injury he suffered during the college football playoff game against Boise State. He won't work out at the pro day but will still be measured, which is important because he didn't get measured at the combine after having to leave early for medicals, according to Dane Brugler of The Athletic. Rosenhaus added that Carter may still work out at private team workouts in mid-April. Stewart also missed workouts at both the combine and his team's pro day, per Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda. Stewart, a former five-star high school recruit, is a true physical specimen, but after only recording 1.5 sacks in each of his 3 seasons of play with the Aggies, scouts were hoping to get some insight via pre-draft workouts. If he still goes in the first round of the draft, as is currently projected, it will likely be solely based on traits over production. We're still only in March in this 2025 offseason, but that hasn't left us without news to discuss. Today we're going to look at the most surprising decisions that the Dallas Cowboys have made and the likelihood that those moves, or non-moves, could change between now and the start of the season. Keeping Donovan Wilson, there was a lot of speculation that the veteran safety would be a salary cap casualty. Dallas could clear about $5 million in space by cutting Wilson outright. But instead, they've created ample cap relief by restructuring contracts for QB Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. With still close to $40 million available, it's unlikely that the Cowboys still have enough moves coming that they would need to sacrifice Wilson. What made it especially surprising is that Dallas also re-signed Marquise Bell to a 3-year, $9 million deal. Going into the offseason, it felt like either Bell would be allowed to walk or Wilson would be released to allow Bell and Wanya Thomas to compete for a starting job. But now all of them, plus Malik Hooker, are currently set to return in 2025. Granted, we're still early in the process and Wilson could yet be cut. If the Cowboys come out of the draft with a safety who's guaranteed to make the team, Wilson may suddenly feel more expendable. But barring that, he should be back to try to fight off the young prospects in training camp. Tony Romo shares his thoughts on the 2014 and 2007 Dallas Cowboys seasons. When it comes to certain things in life, you just had to be there. One of those things is the 2014 Dallas Cowboys season. For those who did not experience it in the moment, there was something distinctly different about it from other years with team success. It was a breakthrough for quarterback Tony Romo, head coach Jason Garrett, obviously many others as well, and is one of the more cherished seasons throughout the era of the drought. It goes without saying that part of what makes us all hold on to it so firmly in our hearts is the way it ended with Dez Bryant's infamous catch at Lambeau Field, which amazingly now happened over a decade ago. On some level it all felt taken away from us like it was stolen. Recently I was down a YouTube rabbit hole and saw that Romo was a guest of Bryson DeChambeau's on the latter's Break 50 series. If you are unfamiliar, DeChambeau is one of the best golfers in the world and has all sorts of videos on his channel doing various golf-related things. In this particular one, he and Romo were trying to break a score of 50 by playing from the most forward tees. It was highly entertaining. Obviously the two were conversing throughout the process and at one point DeChambeau asked Romo what his most memorable celebration was and specified that he meant in the NFL. Romo noted his pounding of the ground in the wild card round victory on that 2014 season and added that the perspective he had relative to what he did earlier in his career was a big reason why. Romo talked about another cherished season of many, the 2007 campaign, where the team fell short against the New York Giants in the divisional round after having a bye in the first round. While the 2014 team was very special, it is arguable that the 2007 group was the best one that the franchise has fielded since winning it all almost 30 years ago. It appears as if the passage of time helped Romo understand how precious the moment was in 2014, which is why he let loose after throwing the winning touchdown to Terrence Williams. There was something different about that year and therefore about that playoff win. To be clear here, we are talking about a win in the wild card round and not the Super Bowl, but that game against the Detroit Lions was a battle. It helped add to the feeling that destiny was on that team's side. Clearly destiny was squarely against the Cowboys, as we found out in horrifying fashion a week later. Still though, it was interesting to hear Romo reflect on it all so fondly and with reverence. We obviously hear from Romo on a weekly basis during his duties with CBS, but since he moved on from the Cowboys there have been few moments like this that made the rounds. Knowing it was as special to him, it obviously was, as it was to so many fans, makes it even cooler. Insider shares direct take about wild rumor involving Browns, Cowboys Dak Prescott. Longtime Cleveland sports media personality Bruce Drennan, now of Big Play, went viral on X, formerly known as Twitter, when he shockingly claimed on Wednesday that the Cleveland Browns were negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade to acquire quarterback Dak Prescott from Dallas. NFL media's Jane Slater quickly poured cold water over Drennan's report, and league insider Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk later expanded on why no such transaction will occur this offseason. By converting most of Prescott's salary into a bonus, Florio explained, the Cowboys have pushed $36.6 million in cap space into future years. If they trade him now, it all crashes back into the 2025 cap. Put simply, if the Cowboys were going to trade him, they shouldn't have, and wouldn't have, restructured the deal. As it stands, Prescott has a cap number of $52.974 million for 2025, he also has a no-trade clause. If the Cowboys trade Prescott before June 1, another $97.356 million would hit the cap in 2025. That would push the total cap charge to $150.33 million. The Cowboys signed Prescott to a 4-year contract extension reportedly worth $240 million with $231 million guaranteed ahead of the 2024 season, and they currently have no other legitimate starter on their roster. Meanwhile, the Browns are stuck with what's left of the disastrous 5-year, $230 million contract they gave Deshaun Watson back in March 2022. Cleveland has repeatedly been linked with Kirk Cousins of the Atlanta Falcons since this past December, in part because it was assumed he would sign a team-friendly deal with the Browns if he were released. Additionally, it's no secret that one reason the Cowboys hired Brian Schottenheimer as their new head coach this offseason is that Prescott wanted continuity. Schottenheimer was Dallas's offensive coordinator over the previous 2 seasons. Those running the Browns reportedly want to acquire a quarterback who can lead the team and serve as the face of the franchise, but Prescott won't be that man in 2025. As odd as it was when Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence was temporarily linked with the Pittsburgh Steelers in February, the Prescott Browns story could go down as the strangest of this NFL offseason. And you fan? What do you think about Dak Prescott's situation? Write to us in the comments.